African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoy, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of the 8th of August, 2025. From August 2nd to 8th, the Russian armed forces carried out 7 group strikes with high-precision weapons and attack unmanned aerial vehicles, during which gas transportation system facilities supporting the operation of Ukrainian military-industrial complex enterprises, transport infrastructure used in the interests of the Ukrainian armed forces, a territorial recruitment center, command posts, as well as warehouses for long-range unmanned aerial vehicles, military airfield infrastructure, and unmanned boat production workshop, as well as temporary deployment points for Ukrainian armed formations, nationalists, and foreign mercenaries were hit. Over the course of the week, units of the North Group of Forces in the Sumy region defeated concentrations of manpower and equipment of a tank, 3 mechanized, 2 airborne assault and Jaeger brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade. In the Kharkiv region, units of the group improved their tactical position, defeated formations of a mechanized, motorized infantry, artillery brigades, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades. Over the week, in the area of responsibility of the North Group of Forces, the enemy's losses amounted to over 1,290 servicemen, a tank, 17 combat armored vehicles, and 80 cars. 26 field artillery guns, 3 electronic warfare stations, and 19 ammunition and material depots were destroyed. Units of the West Group of Forces have taken up more advantageous lines and positions. The formations of 3 mechanized, assault, airmobile brigades, a regiment of unmanned systems of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade were defeated. The enemy lost more than 1,615 servicemen, 3 tanks, and 9 armored combat vehicles. 85 vehicles, 12 artillery pieces, 28 ammunition depots, and 48 electronic and counter-battery warfare stations were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defenses and liberated the settlement of Alexandro Kalinovo of the Donetsk People's Republic. They inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of 5 mechanized, motorized infantry, assault, airmobile, mountain assault, artillery brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 territorial defense brigades, the Azov Special Forces Brigade, and the Light Assault Brigade Battalion of the National Police of Ukraine. Over the week, the Armed Forces of Ukraine lost over 1,075 servicemen, a tank, and 13 combat armored vehicles in this area. 19 vehicles, 20 field artillery guns, including 3 Western-made ones, 3 electronic warfare stations, and 6 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces continued offensive operations on the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic and the Dnipropetrovsk region. For mechanized, 2 airborne assault, airborne, airmobile, ranger, infantry brigades, an unmanned systems brigade, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, 2 territorial defense brigades, and 2 National Guard brigades were defeated. The enemy lost up to 2,725 servicemen, 2 tanks, and 19 combat armored vehicles. 28 vehicles and 16 artillery pieces were destroyed. Over the past week, units of the East Group of Forces, as a result of active and decisive actions, liberated the settlement of Yanvarskoye in the Dnipropetrovsk region. The manpower and equipment of 3 mechanized, mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 3 territorial defense brigades, a Marine brigade, and a National Guard brigade were defeated. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost over 1,530 servicemen, 2 tanks, 9 armored combat vehicles, 51 vehicles, 11 field artillery guns, including 2 Western-made ones. For electronic and counter-battery warfare stations, as well as 2 ammunition and material depots were destroyed. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces defeated formations of 2 mechanized, mountain assault brigades, 3 coastal defense brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, 3 territorial defense brigades and a National Guard brigade. More than 490 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, 34 cars, 7 artillery pieces, 39 electronic and counter-battery warfare stations, as well as 24 ammunition depots, material, military technical property, and fuel and lubricants were destroyed. 8 Storm Shadow air-launched cruise missiles were shot down by Air Defense Systems British-made, 10 US-made Mars multiple launch rockets, 9 guided aerial bombs, and 1,508 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. The Black Sea Fleet destroyed 3 unmanned enemy boats in the Black Sea. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 664 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 75,356 unmanned aerial vehicles, 625 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,485 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,584 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 28,283 field artillery guns and mortars, 39,290 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.